Hello, people. Welcome to another episode of Grand Football Weekly. How are we doing? Yes, it is the penultimate week of the Premier League. It is game week 37, guys. Game week 37, and there's still a lot to play for. The Premier League hasn't been decided yet. The top four hasn't completely been decided yet. The last bits of those qualifying for other parts of Europe hasn't been decided yet. And the last spot in the relegation zone hasn't been decided yet as well. So there's still a lot to play for. Although all the other teams, some teams might already be in the beach because there's nothing they're really playing for. They're just, marking the register and finishing up their games. And this weekend as well, we have the FA Cup final, which is reflected on how the games will go this week. So there'll be a game on Friday. There'll be no games on Saturday because of the FA Cup final, and every other game is played on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And it's when it gets to Monday, that's when it starts heating up. Well, Sunday evening, really, from Sunday evening till Tuesday. That's where everybody's eyes will be locked in, trying to see what happens with those games. Yeah. But before we go into game week 37, I'm not going to go through all the results from game week 36. Because apart from the Arsenal game, we know what happened there. Arsenal stayed in front by making sure they beat West Ham. They needed to do that job, and they did it. And there was a lot of controversy. I'm sure you've seen all over the internet. Was it a foul? Was it this? Was it that? Well, we know it was a foul, and we know, yes, it was the right call. Well done to VAR for the first time. I could say for my team, they got it right. So yeah, we move on to game week 37. And before we do that, let's look at the predictions table, because it's the second to the last week. And I'm sure we know this is it. You can't catch who's at the top now, in my opinion. Whoever's at the top will probably finish the last two games top. Temizak is at the top with 793 points, and Dion in second with 750 points. Kiki is third with 737 points. Anu is fourth with 735 points. Osita is fifth with 733. Michael is closing in on them with 729. And I'm closing in on Michael as well with 721. Fiends behind me with 698. OK is on 672. Chris is on 665. David is on 645. King T. No, that Temitayo, sorry. Temitayo is on 632. Yema is on 615. And King T is on 598. So that's the full list this time I've given you, because we're near the end now. I wonder if anyone can catch Temizak. I don't think so. And can I still make it to the top five? I'm not sure, but I'm hoping. We've got predictions on some other stuff as well. Stuff like player of the season, creator of the season, top four, bottom three, Champions League, Carabao Cup, Golden Glove, and all that. So all those points will be added together to give our overall winner for the predictions this season. So I'm sure the guys are looking forward to the final results and seeing where they finished, how they did this season in terms of our predictions. Okay, now we go into game week 37. And like I said, it starts off with Aston Villa playing Liverpool on Friday night. Today, actually. They play tonight, Friday night. And it's going to be a very, very interesting game because they're both on the same points and one needs to be above the other. But Aston Villa, I'm not sure what Aston Villa team would turn up for this one because they've got a Europa League final to look forward to on Wednesday. So I'm not sure if they would put in their best today to make sure they have all their players fit and ready for that final game against Freiburg. But we'll see. Liverpool, on the other hand, has had a poor season by their standards, considering they won the league last season. So would they want to end on a high, make sure they are comfortable in top four by beating Villa? I don't think so. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. I don't see any team winning this one. They would cancel each other out. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Man United versus Nottingham Forest. Man United play Nottingham Forest and it's their last home game. Players that are leaving, they would want to say goodbye to in their final home game, the likes of Casemiro. Nottingham Forest, you would wonder, they're safe now. They've lost that Europa League semi-final to Villa. They're safe, so they'll probably be in the beach now as well because they know they're safe. So you're not sure if they would give it their all in this game. So because of that, I'm going to go for a Manchester United win. Manchester United, would want to secure that third spot. I mean, they are definitely going to finish in the top four, but now they need to secure that third position by winning this game because there's 6 points that could make them drop off the third spot. So they need to win this game against Nottingham Forest to seal that. And I'm going to go for them to beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. 2-1. I wonder if Bruno, who's chasing that, exclusive assists for the season, if he is going to get it. He's on 19 and the record is 20. Can he get to that 20 or even exceed it? We'll see. 2 games he has left to do that. And if he doesn't do it against Forest, in my opinion, it'll be very difficult to do it in the last day of the season. So I'm going to go for them to win 2-1. Then our next game is Brentford versus Crystal Palace. Brentford versus Crystal Palace. We saw Crystal Palace midweek. They played Manchester City for that outstanding game. And they were well and truly beaten by Manchester City. You could tell they rested quite a few players, which was a bit of a surprising one. But City rested players as well. Both teams rested players. So you're not sure what's happening. If they're resting players, making sure because they don't play until the final day of the season, the Wednesday after the final day of the season, in their own Conference League final against Rayo Vallecano. So it'll be interesting to see how they set up for this one as well. Brentford are chasing Europe, so they would go all out to make sure they try and win this game. They went great in their last game against Manchester City. So this one, I feel they would want to make amends, especially at home. Make sure they give the crowd something to cheer for the final home game of the season. So I'm going to go for Brentford to beat Crystal Palace 2-1 as well. 2-1. Then Everton play Sunderland. Everton plays Sunderland. Both teams, I'm not sure there's much they're fighting for. Both teams. Everton have a slim chance of making it into Europe. So I'm not sure if Sunderland, there's nothing they're fighting for. They're safe. So they'll be happy with that. What they've done with themselves this season. They've only just come up and they are safe. I'm sure they start looking forward to next season, what they can do to make sure they don't drop off. And I'm going to go for Everton to beat Sunderland on their patch. I'm going to go for Everton to beat them 2-0. Everton to beat Sunderland 2-0. Yeah. Leeds versus Brighton. Leeds gave a good account of themselves in the last game against Tottenham. Everyone expected Tottenham to win the game and secure their spots in the league, but they couldn't beat a very, very resilient Leeds side. And you would imagine this is their last home game. They will want to turn up and give their fans something to cheer about. But Brighton, on the other hand, are chasing Europe as well. They're doing really well. They've got a very, very good chance of making it into Europe. So this game, I feel, will be very hard for Leeds. And I'm going to go for Brighton to win away from home. I'm going to go for Brighton to beat Leeds 2-1 away from home. It'll be interesting to see if that comes up. We'll see. Now, Wolves versus Fulham. This is a nothing game, in my opinion. Fulham, I don't think they've got any chance of making it into Europe. And Wolves, obviously, as we know, they're already down and haven't been playing great of late. So I feel this one, they would probably just step it up a bit because this is their last home game. Give their fans something to just go home with and say, yeah, we're down, we're out, but we left on a high. So I feel this one, because of the team they're playing against, Fulham, who I don't feel have got much to fight for as well. So I'm going to go for Fulham to lose. Wolves to beat Fulham 2-1. Wolves to beat Fulham 2-1 at home. Yeah. And the big one, which is on the Sunday evening at 5:30, Newcastle versus West Ham. Newcastle versus West Ham. West Ham have a lot to play for in this game. I know Newcastle, they haven't been great all season. There's nothing for them left in this season. They can't, I don't think they can make Europe, and they can't go down. So they're just there. So I feel this one, they would just want to give their fans something to cheer about. But West Ham would be a very, very tough game for them. I see a high scoring game, both teams going for the win. But in my opinion, this will end in a draw, and I'm going for a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw, Newcastle 2, West Ham 2. Yeah. Arsenal versus Burnley. Arsenal play Burnley on Monday. This might be a very, very important game in the title race. You know, they could win this and hope for the best in the next day's game between Bournemouth and City, which we'll talk about very soon. But sticking to this game, Arsenal play Burnley. Burnley, as we know, are relegated already. They lost their manager and they have a caretaker manager who's been looking after them for the last couple of games. And they gave a good account of themselves in the last game against Aston Villa. In fact, if you remember my prediction, I actually thought Burnley would beat Villa because I thought Villa would be still celebrating from their qualification for the final. But they came back, they did well, and it finished in a draw. But this game is a very, very important game for Arsenal. And I'm sure Arsenal players will know what's at stake here. They would go all out and make sure they get the win. It might be ugly because Burnley might want to be party poopers, want to make sure even if you're going to get beat, we're not going to get beat by much. So they might make it difficult for Arsenal. They might make it difficult for Arsenal in this game. But I see Arsenal winning. I see Arsenal beating Burnley, you know, to take it to the last day. And I see them beating Burnley 3-0. 3-0. It could be more, it could be less, but I know that Arsenal would win the game. They need to win. They must win. They have to win. you know. So I see them winning that one. Then we go to Tuesday games. Starting off with Bournemouth versus Manchester City. Remember, they play the FA Cup final on a Saturday afternoon, and then they have to travel to Bournemouth to play this game against Bournemouth. And this game, there's all riding on it. City are still going for the league, and Bournemouth have a great chance of qualifying for Europe. So, and this is their last home game. I know they've lost a few players. Christie wouldn't be in this final game for them at home, but I'm sure they've still got quite a, decent amount of players to do the job against Man City. It will be a very, very difficult game. City would want to win this game and win it well. If City win this game well, it could send shockwaves round the Arsenal camp before the final game, because City will be at home in their final game and Arsenal will be away. So there will be all to play for. There will be all to play for. But I feel Bournemouth know what they need to do. It's not about hoping. They need to beat Manchester City to stay in Europe, to qualify for Europe, because Brighton are there, Brentford are there to take their place if they slip up. So I feel they know what they need to do to win the game. And I'm going to go for Bournemouth to beat Man City. A very tight game, but I'm going to go for Bournemouth to win 2-1. 2-1 at home. They'll beat City 2-1. And if that happens, we will be there. We will be there. And the final game of Game Week 37 is Chelsea versus Tottenham. Another team who would have just finished the FA Cup final in Chelsea will be playing Tottenham, who, by every standard, they need to win this game. They need to stay in the race. They need to make sure that whatever might have happened between the game, Newcastle and West Ham, they do their own job, taking it to the final day. If West Ham draw, they're closer. If West Ham lose, they just need to win their game and they're safe. So they know they need to do a business. And Chelsea, on the other hand, they always have a way of playing Tottenham. So I see this game as a game that will be very, very difficult for Tottenham. But because of the magnitude of what they need to get, I see them trying to get the win. But it would just elude them, because Chelsea would score higher than they will. And I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for Chelsea. Chelsea to beat Tottenham 3-2. Chelsea to beat Tottenham 3-2. Yeah. So that's my prediction, guys. What are your predictions? Let us know in the comment section. Yeah. And I will see you in the next video. We are also going to do like a team of the season once the final game is played. So look out for that video, yeah? And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.